Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Ham Radio Dude, and thanks for checking out the channel. Now, recently, I put out a challenge to the Coffee and Ham Radio crew, the Ham Radio Clubhouse, and all the viewers at home. What was the challenge? It was go to Goodwill or Thrift store or whatever kind of secondhand store you have and find something to build a CW keyer or paddle. So today's the deadline, so I figured I probably should get started. Let's see what I got going on here. Because I'm pretty lazy and I procrastinated this until the day that the deadline is due for this thing, I went across the street or nearly across the street to the Goodwill, and unfortunately they wouldn't let me record. With that being said, I'll show you what I got though. And the first thing I got is one of these numeric keypads, and it's a USB numeric keypad, which isn't going to matter. And my thought was I could use it here for like an iambic paddle, and then basically like maybe one would be a dit and one would be a da or something along those lines. And this might actually be what I decide to go with here. But I decided to look around Goodwill a little bit more to see if there was anything more unique or anything kind of cooler that I might be able to make a paddle out of, or maybe easier too, because I don't know that a keypad's going to work the way I think it's going to. And I wanted to have backup plans. By the way, I wanted to show you real quick too that I did purchase this at Goodwill. So anyway, I went ahead and I went to the toy section and I got some, I think these are Nerfs or wannabe Nerfs. Anyway, they were $2.29 each. So this would be a $5 keyer if I can make it work, plus whatever wire I'm going to need. And the reason I really thought this was cool is look at, these are like kind of spring loaded. So I was thinking, dit, da, 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 dit. Or I guess you could just hold it down, right? This might be what I start with. As I'm continuing to walk around Goodwill, I'm not really finding too much at that Goodwill. Actually, our Goodwill is pretty bad. However, I found this old Nintendo style USB controller, and it was 99 cents, so I picked it up. I mean, really, I can make a keyer for just over 99 cents, and I say over 99 cents because I'm going to need some wire and I'm going to need a little connector. Now, with that being said, I could use the A and the B's for the dis and the das, or the start and select. I would probably avoid the arrow controller part, but this might be a solution too. You know what, maybe we'll open this up first, because the problem we're going to have with these is I think I'm going to need to run the dit and the da wires, and then I'm going to have a ground on each of these to short it out. Let's see. Let's just go to the desk. And you guys know the drill. This camera is pretty bad, so forgive me. But we're going to do what we can. Today, I'm using an actual Emerson knife here that should be a little sharper than that other knife I had last week when I did the ARRL mystery unboxing. But anyway, look at that. It's smooth as butter. Is that the expression? I don't know. Here we are. We got this Nintendo controller, and I'm just going to keep cutting, and keep cutting. I mean, really... There it is. All right, so looks like we have 6 screws, and looks like actually there's only 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and unscrew this. Today I'll be using a Ham Radio Dude screwdriver kit. It's not iFixit, it's the Ham Radio Dude screwdriver kit. And it actually is a really good screwdriver kit. And inside, we don't have too much. It looks like just a little board. Actually, this might work in our favor. And in fact, all we might need is, we might just need to cut this USB wire. Let's see here. So we got one more screw here. This might be a quicker episode than I thought, y'all. Okay, so what happens is these contacts hit this. What we should do is probably go on to, here, I'll show you. Okay, so I wanted to show you real quick my thoughts on this. And I also want to mention why we're doing this challenge. So here's the deal. You can go out and buy a CW keyer and you're like, yeah, I know CW. Or you can go build one. And when you build it, you test your creative capabilities. And although it might not be the most practical thing in the world, if that's all you could afford is a 99-cent keyer, that's what you got. Use it. So with that being said, also, I don't know anything about electronics. Like I know that sometimes there's continuity in things and stuff like that, right? But I know a little bit more. I'm actually kind of I'm over-exaggerating that. So I cut this little trace right here. And when I say I cut it, I actually just kind of scraped away some of the covering. And I think that's where I'm going to put my ground. And here's what happens. When I hit this button, I complete a circuit. Tit, tit, tit. You probably can't hear that. Same thing that happens here. So my thought is, man, I think this might be really easy, but you know what they say, right? Probably some foreshadowing in there. My thought is I'm going to put the ground here. I'm going to put one wire here and one wire here, and those 3 wires are going to go out to the mono jack. I think that the best thing I could do at this point is just start wiring this up to see if I could put a ground and the 2 wires and make this work that easily, or if I'm missing something. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, I know I bought that awesome pink wire that had a stereo connector on it, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this USB adapter off here, and we're going to use the wires inside of here, and then just get our own little TRS jack. Okay, as I said, this is a learning lesson, so I went ahead and I scraped a little bit more coating off of here, and this is where I'm sticking to is going to be my ground. It goes to both ends. I'm going to have one wire here, I'm going to have one wire here, and I'm going to have one wire here. Now, I wanted to show you how this works, just so you know. Right now, I have no continuity. If I put one of my prongs on K1 and the other on the opposite side here, there's no continuity because this needs to complete a circuit. Okay, and what happens is these little keypad buttons, they actually are conductive. If I were to put one end here, one end here, and now it's not working. There we go. Somehow they become conductive. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to put this here. Maybe they're not conductive. I don't know. But if I press down hard enough, I get continuity between the two. So that's perfect. I'm going to cut the trace here because there's no need for it, and I just want to avoid further conflict. And then I'm going to put one wire here, and the ground here. Okay, I know you're getting sick of different camera angles, but I went ahead and I took that USB cable and I used my fancy Felco wire cutters and strippers to expose some wires on each end. So let's go ahead and do this end first here. First, I'm going to go ahead and scrape away some more of this to make sure. Yeah, I know it's not the right tool. I believe that's fairly well exposed. Now with that, again, I'm not the greatest guy in the world with electronics. And to give you the recap, here I have the red wire, the black wire, and the white wire. Now I need to go ahead and wire up this to my TRS jack, and I need the schematic for the TRS to determine which is ground and then what the other rings will be. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, sorry, I was recording, but I wasn't really recording. I went ahead and I soldered the black ground to ground, the red to one part, and the white to the other part. So my apologies that we weren't recording, and my apologies that this thing doesn't focus. I'm all sorts of messed up today. Anyway, we have this done, and we have those wires going to the board. My best guess now is to let's go ahead and... Oh, see that one wire came off already. I need to check the continuity now. Sorry, that was off camera. I need to check the continuity now because I might actually have put too much solder on these pads, therefore creating a constant... Nope, we're good. Okay. So I now have these 3 wires soldered. I have the end connector soldered. And the best thing for me to do at this point is just to put this right here and plug in our Morse Reno and see if we can get... So right now it's not working. I hooked it up into the Morse and it kind of went crazy. I guess I need to use the multimeter again to figure out why. Let's see if I can get these both on the screen. And I know this is kind of whatever, but I went ahead and I put this back together. And if I hit B, that's cool, right? But if I hit A, nothing happens because A is actually wired to the middle portion of this jack. And it appears nothing's happening, but also maybe I need to take a better look at that. There you go. Okay, so there it is, guys. Let's put it back together and see if this actually is functional. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. And I apologize that I'm probably a little quieter, but I have the Nintendo controller hooked up to the Morse, and let's see how this works. I think it was MKM. All right. It's a MKK. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a keyer. That's at 15 words a minute. I'm no mad rocket scientist when it comes to electronics and soldering, but that was pretty fun. I'm not going to lie. So just in a couple of hours, and it was a couple of hours for me because I had to record and do all this stuff together, but I made a CW keyer out of a Nintendo controller. I did use the USB cable that came with the Nintendo controller. I cut it off at the end here, and I basically went ahead and I did use this mono jack here, which wasn't from GoodWill. That's something you could find at GoodWill. Come on. But anyway, for 99 cents plus whatever this cost me, I have myself a pretty awesome CW key, right? And it works. We just saw it works with the Morse 32 at 15 words a minute. A lot of people are going to question the practicality of this. A lot of people are going to say that it's not reliable, and it might not be, guys. But I think the key is getting our minds going and kind of like learning something new. So I fully understand how an iambic paddle works, right? At least now I get the idea. And I've made iambic paddles before. Like, let's be realistic. But it was able to give me that opportunity to say, okay, well, how could I modify a circuit board and incorporate some hobby that I like, amateur radio? Now I'm really looking forward to going and watching the rest of the videos. I'm going to create a playlist, or there might already be a playlist out there. I'll link it below if there is, of everybody who participated in the CW paddle challenge from the GoodWill or from the Thrift store. But most importantly, if you did like this, and I really hope you did, you should subscribe to my channel. And the reason you should subscribe to my channel is because I'm going to start making these random challenges more frequently. You know, it could be anything. It's going to be ham radio related, but it is going to challenge your brain. So with that being said, thanks for checking out the channel. I'll see you next time. I'm Ham Radio Dude 73.